Everybody is a genius, but if you judge a goldfish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing that it's stupid. Albert Einstein. The mind of a young human has millions of thoughts that race through their heads every day, pertaining to their hopes, desires, and fears. Their best friend is one desk in front of them, and a bully sits one desk behind. Bodies vibrate in their seats, fueled by equal parts of sugar and the desire to seek adventure. Every time they're told to sit still, they long to sprint forward. The energy that is built up affects their thoughts, leading their natural curiosity to daydream about their escape from the system. They tell a few jokes that a teacher doesn't think as funny as they do, but they must do something to escape their mundane reality of being lectured at for hours each day, and being forced to stay put in a metaphorical balls and chains. The student is sent out in the hallway, though it's a relief, because the 15-minute punishment is a reward compared with the prison they have just managed to escape. I believe that the intrinsic motivation to learn is within every student, but some teachers are unequipped with the tools to deal with students in different learning styles, despite their good intentions. Although students might appear to be stubborn or unmotivated, they are acting based on their fear of failure. A teacher in today's age understands that not every student learns the same way. In order for a teacher to get through to students, they must tailor their lessons to be appealing to a wide group of distinctly unique individuals. Gardner's theory of personality states that people learn across 8 different categories of varying strength: musical rhythmic, visual spatial, verbal linguistic, logical mathematical, bodily kinesthetic, interpersonal, intrapersonal, and naturalistic. As a teacher, I must be able to accommodate to learning styles by offering a range of classroom activities, informative assessment across the different learning styles. As Gardner described in his theory of multiple intelligences, not all students learn in the same way. They have strengths in some areas and weaknesses in others. It should be noted that students don't have just one area of strength, but several, across various realms. By working to a student's strengths, you are not only encouraging creativity and individuality, but helping a student use their own understanding of an area to deepen the learning of others in the classroom when it's shared. It's my belief that we should focus on the strength of students, but also work to develop other areas of learning to better prepare them for the real world. A teacher should strive to diversify their lesson and give students a choice in the way they are to be assessed whenever possible. When a student acts from an area of strength instead of an area of weakness, it's amazing the difference you will see in the result. Bandura's social cognitive theory states that people learn by observing models go through actions and observing the consequences of that action. Actions are repeated by another when they observe and see a positive result from it. The model in a school setting might be a fellow classmate or a teacher. For example, a teacher who is teaching students math should not just give them an equation, but show the class how to do the problem by giving several examples. It's only then that the student will have the greatest amount of retention. The teacher who works alongside the students, creating models of the work that they wish for the student to achieve, has the greatest results. The student now knows exactly what they need to achieve. When I had my grade 6 students write autobiographies, I wrote one for John the Leprechaun, a normal grade 6 student from Ireland. We spent part of the class dedicated to how students might brainstorm ideas and topics that they might include for each paragraph. When students got confused, they consulted their John the Leprechaun model and easily found ideas about things that they might write about. For many students, the classroom teacher is the best model that they have in their life, so it's important for the teacher to not just model learning, but behavior as well. If a student leads a classroom by yelling at others when they are not listening, students will see this as the appropriate response if it's effective, and repeat it to their classmates. The classroom will become a negative environment that is not conducive to learning. If rude and unjust behavior is not addressed by the teacher, students will see the behavior as acceptable since there is not any consequence associated with it. I like to involve the student in the process of making a list of rules together at the beginning of the term, based on their suggestions, and enforce them consistently and unbiasedly. In order for me to successfully get through to a classroom, it's necessary to instill within students a belief that they can succeed. Bandura's theory of self-efficacy states that the belief that one is capable of achieving set goals is essential in completing the desired task or action. Being young, students are limited in their experiences which they can draw from, and tend to focus on their failures instead of their success. When students have encountered a series of setbacks in their life, both inside and outside academics, they stop putting forth the effort needed to succeed. To the teacher, they appear to be rude and unmotivated, but in reality, they are protecting their ego from further embarrassment since they live in fear of their past failures. As a teacher, I must be aware of this and understand the difference that sincere caring can make in the life of a student. There are many kids who have never had a figure in their life that has cared about them. I have seen firsthand the effect extra effort towards students can have. There is no doubt that this can prove to be a challenging task. If a student has had their trust broken before, their defenses will be high. With persistence, these barriers can be overcome. What's happening in the home life of a student can also have a strong effect on the behavior in the classroom. Maslow has a theoretical pyramid that shows what needs to be achieved before a person can achieve self-actualization, the ideal learning stage. He believes that people cannot learn optimally before these fundamental needs are met. Physiological requirements are the most essential, located on the bottom of the pyramid. All of our needs become secondary to these fundamental desires. After teaching in a school in a low-income area, I have seen firsthand that students are coming to school on an empty stomach. Teachers at my school had snacks within their classroom that could be eaten before and after class by anyone who was hungry. There was also a lunch program for students who did not bring any food to school. This helped to fulfill part of the fundamental needs. I allow students to take water and bathroom breaks whenever necessary, and inquire to parents about their child's level of sleep and stability of shelter if they're showing signs of distress. If a student comes from a background of poverty, they may worry about the stability of their homes and family, making learning more difficult. The next level of the pyramid addresses the importance of personal safety at home and in school. Classroom bullying must be dealt with immediately and effectively in order to avoid creating a hostile classroom environment where students feel unsafe. Students coming from an abusive household or a home that's financially unstable may struggle. If there are ever signs that a student is coming from an unsafe environment, it's my duty to report this to the appropriate authority figure. Health problems, or a lack of love and belonging from family and friends, are other barriers that may get in the way of students achieving self-actualization. This further emphasizes the need of a teacher to focus on giving all students a sense of belonging. Personal self-esteem, confidence, independence of thought and words of others can only be achieved after this, which comes about through respect by others. It's only after that students can reach the final and most essential learning stage of self-actualization. In conclusion, in order to create the most conducive classroom environment, a teacher must understand the needs of their students. As proposed by Gardner, everyone learns in a different way. A teacher needs to be aware of this and learn to teach to accommodate to students of varying learning styles. Students learn by observing models and repeating the action based on the consequences that they see. A teacher must be a model through giving their class examples on how to perform the desired action and modeling their own behavior as well to create a comfortable classroom environment. Students who appear to be lazy or unmotivated are often driven by their failure in the past. It's only after this is overcome that they can learn to be driven by success. As stated by Marlowe, students cannot achieve the optimal learning state of self-actualization until their physiological needs, their sense of safety, love and belonging, and self-esteem are achieved. Teachers must be aware that a lot goes on behind the scenes of the classroom that will affect a student's experiences. They must also be aware that they can make a difference in their lives.